Hi, Fantasy and Sci-Fi Writers. This is a tarot and energy reading for what you might want to pay attention to for your story or work in progress for this month in January of 2024. I'm Chris, and I'm a tarot reader, and I specialize my practice to help writers defeat writer's block, stay creatively engaged with their projects, to work with them and not on them. If you're not a sci-fi or fantasy writer, don't worry. I have or will be posting 10 to 12 other videos with different genres, so be sure to like, subscribe, and follow so that you can know when those are posted. So the first thing I'm going to tell you is that this one was a little bit of a rough one to decipher, and I think what I've ultimately come to the conclusion is that you're scared to move on to the next project. And not that you're scared to, but you're spinning your wheels. Whatever project you're working on right now, it just seems like it's coming to an end. You've got a 9, an 8, a 9, an 8, a 7, a 10. It seems to be coming to a close. But I think what you need to do at this point, you need to let someone else read it to get some feedback on it. And then because everything else is so balanced, it's like one of those things to where you need to let it go so that you can work on something new or take a break or do something else creative. So like what I mean by balance is fire and water are 3 and 3. You've got earth and air, which is 2 and 2. So it's very evened out. Another thing is, with all the numbers, I'm going to give you in just a second, but they all equal up to 14, which is temperance in the major arcana. If you do 1 plus 4 equals 5, which is the Hierophant. So it's kind of like being a teacher or doing something traditional. So I think it's like the next step is doing something traditional for whatever project you're working on right now. To go back, numbers that you should probably pay attention to are 8, 10, 2, 13, 9, 7, 4, 9, 8, and 7. Now, if you add all those up, again, you get 77. 77 turns to 14 because 7 plus 7 equals 14. 1 plus 4 equals 5, which is the Hierophant. Now, I'm using a deck that is highly brown gold. It's a steampunk deck. I tried to find a deck that was, or out of all of my decks that I have here, I tried to get one that was kind of like an in-between fantasy and sci-fi just because, yeah. And steampunk seemed to be the best, but this deck seems to have it's a lot of brown and gold with steampunk, so that just whatever that means to you. The two cards that kind of really stuck out to me right now is this 8 of Pentacles, which is reversed, which is usually about perfection or having a skill that you've done hundreds of times and being able to do it like with your eyes closed. And then this Death reversed also, and death is usually about change. And this is like, it says fear of change, and I'm just kind of wondering if you're scared to let this go in order to work on something new. Some other things that you might want to pay attention to are the planets. Our Moon and Pluto are the main ones to pay attention to. Everything else, because it's kind of evened out, there isn't really anything else in the zodiac to pay attention to, but maybe the Moon and Pluto have something to tell you. Lastly, if you have something that needs a puzzle piece, pistachio nuts came up. No idea why. I don't know how to go into that any further, but pistachio nuts. Now, the other thing I want to say is you do have discovery here. So there might be something you need to discover, and I do think discover is a thing that this spread is trying to tell you, because I've also got the 2 of Wands. And the 2 of Wands, one of the is also about discovery. So there's something about a discovery that you're going to be doing here with this, ending this project or starting a new one. Another writing prompt that you can have is, what is your protagonist's weakness and how will they overcome it to achieve their goal? The last thing that I will kind of want to say is that the 4 of Cups here is reversed. And the 4 of Cups is usually a boredom card. That's the card that's at the bottom of the deck. And since it's a boredom, not bored, like you're not bored, but you seem to be, it's like there's a blockage to moving on to the next step. And that's kind of what I have here. Like, there's not, whatever that next step is for you, working on a new project, giving it to somebody else to read, even putting it down, for this current project down for a minute and letting it breathe itself. You're almost done with it, but stop spinning your wheels so that you can keep that creativity going. That's pretty much what I have for the Fantasy and Sci-Fi Writers for January of 2024. Please comment below if you found this helpful or not, and I'm open to suggestions on how I can make this better to speed up your creativity and your writing quality. If you want to take any of this to the next step, a little bit further, I've started a Patreon where I'm giving away all sorts of writing prompts to get those creative juices flowing. In full transparency, I am new to Patreon and Discord, so I'm still trying to figure out what works and what doesn't, and I'm not sure that those tiers are completely correct at this moment. And if you want to go look at those tiers, it's patreon.com/ChrisLillyTV, and it's just this right there, just my name. So I'm also open to suggestions for that as well, and if you have anything that will make this better for you, I'm totally willing to give that a try. I guess in closing, remember to like, follow, subscribe, and share it, and give to anyone who might think this video is interesting. And I'll see you in the next one.